You all right?
Let's make a cold joke.
Little Butterfinger flake.
That's not good.
Butterfinger Jake.
Those make me cough like nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Okay.
You should eat them, not breathe them in.
I know, right?
I know.
Okay, here we go.
I know I did it wrong.
I'm recording now. You ready? 1, 2, 3. No, 3, 2, 1.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
This is the final score, episode 152 for Friday, March 21st, 2014. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the final score, the video game podcast for the rest of us. I'm Scott Johnson. It's Brian over there. Brian, hi. Brian Dunaway. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Scott Johnson.
Do you guys know, and Nicole over there, hi, Nicole.
Hey.
Do you guys know that you two are not, you're the only two people I do shows with? Well, that's not entirely true. Of all the video game related stuff I do, you're the only ones that don't go by your nicknames. So Terpster's
like
always
Dills.
Terpster. We never go, hey, Mark, what's your opinion on something? And Dills is never William or Willie, you know.
Willie.
So,
William!
do you know he was from Texas? Did you know that?
Dills is?
Yeah, I just found that out today.
Yeah, I thought he was a native San Franciscan.
Well, he may as well be. He loves it there. But
Yeah.
like the voice kind of, now that he says it, I kind of can hear a little bit of old
little
Texas in there. Because he admitted today he's a barbecue snob because he's from Texas. And that's what they do.
Your handle be? It would be Mission Deep, right?
Mission Deep would be his, MD for short.
Yeah.
Used to be. What would you be, Nicole? Nicole Spag?
Well,
That's kind of cheating.
in game I'm Spagtastic.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Oh, you
And
mean your
then
name. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then in WoW I'm Neola.
Oh, yeah, Neola. Brian,
Yeah,
you don't really have
Neo.
a game name, do you?
Well, I sometimes use some cartoonist.
I am sometimes.
right.
That's right. I am sometimes.
And I used my really old Quake name that I used to use as Shock Effect.
Shock Effect.
Yeah, because I used to. My favorite thing to do in Quake was to wait and quiet and under the water and wait for someone to get into the water and then use my lightning gun.
Goodness.
Ah.
That's why you
you'd
call
help-
yourself that.
Yeah, you'd health up. You'd get the 200 health, and then you get your 200 armor, and then you'd get into the water, and you wait for a couple of morons to come jumping into the water, and you'd shock them because most of the time they didn't have the 200 health and the 200 armor. And that's how you get your points, man.
It's a pretty good trick. I remember those days fondly. I was Buddy Pickle for a while.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Buddy Pickle.
And that was a long time. And then I was Peeps Darius for a while. And that's it. I don't think I've ever had
Is
other...
that Hootie and the Blowfish inspired?
No, it just was... I don't remember what the deal was. I think it was we were making a character in one of those old SSX games, the snowboarder games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I made up a name on the fly, Peeps Darius. And it's just stuck, and I kept using it.
I like it.
So there you go. Yeah, that was the great successor. Now it's just Frog Pants everywhere if you see me in game. Speaking of which, games. We've been playing them. We have stuff to say. How do we know? Because this is playing. Hey, what are you playing? Nick's trying to open a box of what? What is it? PS4 controller. We got extra controller because we got that Towerfall game, and now we need all four of us in there. And I'm excited about that. We're going to do that tonight? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If I can get this box open, Dad.
That's right. Careful, you'll cut yourself. All right. Hey, check it out.
Hey.
Games, video games. So I played some games and got a hold of Metro Last Light for the PC.
Me too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you played it yet, by the way? You cracked it open?
Of course, it's in my list, right?
Oh, no. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. It's right there. So let's talk about that game for a second.
Yeah, you gave it to me.
By the way, if you're having any slowdown at all, you should turn off the PhysX thing. I'm not having any issues with it, but some people are reporting that. If you turn that off, you'll get way better frame rate, apparently. And it still
No
looks
problems
great.
here. Yeah.
Anyway, well, then we have dog houses. We're all good.
Yeah.
We're happy kids. We're happy kids. We're happy campers. Anyway, Metro Last Light's an older game. And when I say older, I want to say the game officially
Last
came
year?
out in was it late 2012, early 2013?
They have like an award on their page that was like a 2013 award.
Metro Last Light.
Is that 2033? Is that the one before that, or is that the one?
That's the one before that. And they're both based on Russian novels. by the same. Well, I don't know if they're
Ah,
exactly
All the
the same
novels
name.
I read,
Which
I'm
is-
Russian.
Why I'm seeing all the books laying around that says Metro 2033.
Yes, exactly. Nice little what do you call them? Easter eggs in there. Mm-hmm. So the game came out. Sorry, I was totally dead wrong. It was August of last year. So it's still pretty new, that game.
Yeah, and it totally slipped by my radar. So I'm glad you brought it to my attention.
Well, I remember it, and I remember thinking I wanted to play it at the time, and I remember hearing that it was more accessible than the game before it, which is the 2034?
33.
33, was it?
Right, that's right.
And I didn't play that first one because I just had heard. So it's a Russian developer who the first game is supposed to be pretty janky in terms of bugs and problems and like getting it to work right and all this kind of stuff. But it got a real cult following. People were really into it, and they made enough money on it to do a sequel. And the sequel is much more cleaned up, way less bugs. Well, none that I can see. I haven't had any problems. And
Yeah, I haven't either.
it's beautiful. Man, that engine is freaking gorgeous. Also scary and dark. But it's just enough kind of... So the story, the core of it, I mean, this is an old game, so we don't have to get too much into it, but the story is essentially that there's been, nuclear holocaust of sorts, and it has really destroyed the surface world in a way that no human can survive up there. So
All I want to know is, do you fight Putin?
you do not fight Putin, although I guess one of those hairy dog things could be Putin. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because they
Fine.
mutated up there. So
Yeah.
while the humans in this part of the world all went down to the metro, the train system,
Right,
underground tunnels and stuff, the world upstairs or up out on the surface is a constant storm, always raining. And if it's not raining, it's just super toxic. And creatures have mutated and become terrible up there. And some of them get down inside the tunnels. And certainly these giant spiders are from that and all that. And
Once again, I'm not hearing any fighting Putin on a horse with no shirt on.
no
Not hearing
Putin yet.
any
No
of that.
Putin or Putin yet. But
No Putin.
when you go down there or you're in the middle of this thing, of course, just like all these kind of post-apocalyptic tales, rarely are the biggest threats the wildlife or the natural inhabitants. It's
humans.
other people. Yeah. And it's good. The story's really good. The voice acting's great. Way better than I expected. I expected some cheese there, and I haven't gotten any real cheese yet. It all seems pretty serious and dark. And I don't like scary games, but I wouldn't classify this game as that scary.
No, it's not too bad.
There's a few jump moments and things, but it's mostly just dark future. How am I going to survive? I got to get through this tunnel. Who are those voices over there? Should I kill them and steal their stuff? Like, it's got that kind of thing going on, and it's
Yeah.
pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I like it.
Nicole, do you role play a little bit? Break out the vodka.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm not
turn down the heat.
not
get
really a hard
cold.
liquor kind of gal.
All right,
Turn down the heat and get really cold. Is that what you said?
that's right.
Wow.
I mean, in the early part of the story, you realize that there are these dark beings and they can infect people's like brain.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, you're kind of immune to it. And you get captured by the Germans.
Right.
So
And they're terrible, man.
they
Ugh.
are terrible.
Awful.
And they're all about if you are genetically mutating, then they're just going to kill you. And
Yeah.
they like measure your brain, your head, and you're like, oh, you're a mutant. And it's
Measure
like,
your
well,
head.
They do
That's
it.
what they do.
They do it a lot. Like that whole interrogation scene reminded me of like when, in a more funny way, the Monty Python trying to see if she's a witch. That whole thing. It's
Right.
real goofy. Like, oh, your head's shaped funny. You're taller or shorter than you should be, or kind of taking Hitler's Aryan youth idea, but taking it kind of to a weird extreme about mutation. It's pretty effective though. Like you're super pissed at these guys.
right.
It doesn't feel
You
goofy.
could use
right
your
now.
Oculus Rift to actually measure the size of your head.
Oh, I couldn't
Any
play
of
this
that?
game with an Oculus, dude. It would kill me.
I will say, going from Fallout New Vegas to this game, because we're in that post-apocalyptic, I can't even say it. I can't. Such a hard.
Pooka paka luka pook.
I'm used to just scavenging for everything, so I'm wasting a lot of time in the beginning just looking for things, and I'm like, oh, it's not that kind of game. There's not.
I do
a
that
lot.
too. Yeah. If I play Skyrim and then I go play another role playing game and I'm like, oh yeah, this is all decorative. Nothing in here is openable. It's kind of a weird mix though. Metro certainly isn't extreme as Fallout in terms of everything is a thing, and you can push it, open it, lift it, or whatever. But it's somewhere in between. It's definitely got more stuff laying around than
There's
your
a lot of
average
locked
shooter.
doors, though.
Yeah, lots of locked doors.
Like, why, if I can't unlock it, why is it there?
It's a good question. I mean, they even give you an icon, right, that says, "Oh, this is locked," as if maybe you could get in otherwise.
Exactly.
Now, in a couple of cases, I was able to, but I had to be on the other side, so there was another way in, and then I got out to that door. So.
Oh, so it's like Luigi's Mansion.
Sort of. There's some of that. Yeah, kind of. It actually is a very Zelda thing, where I don't know how to get to that door. Oh, that's the way I exit when I'm done. Or in WoW, it's like, oh, okay, I'm done now. There's a portal here. It's kind of like that sort of thing. So you don't have to run through the whole thing again. But it's good and it's intense, and I needed some of that for whatever reason. I feel like I haven't had that in a while. Kind of Bioshocky in some ways.
Yeah.
A little bit. The gunplay feels really good. I like the guns a lot. They feel really, I don't know, what's the word? Just a good feel.
And you can carry 3, and you can easily swap out and
swap them out, upgrade them, whatever.
Where do you keep the third gun at?
In your butt, right up your butthole.
Thank you. All right, good.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's my shotgun? You don't want to know. Yeah.
You picked up a can of lube.
Cyanide in the chat room says, I remember Nicole went through Fallout 3 for about a month not knowing there was a flashlight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is true.
This game has it. Nicole, as soon as she got into Metro, she hit F as fast as she could. Oh, I'm in. It's got some other stuff that's kind of cool. The gas masks are pretty neat. I like that idea. And when you're in toxic areas, you need to wear it. And if... what'd you say? I
was going to say it's not infinite. You have to swap out your cartridges.
Yeah, you got to keep finding them too.
Filters, yeah.
On bodies and stuff. And I haven't done too bad with that. But what's cool is while you're wearing it and you're outside, for example, there's this part where I'm running around with my buddy. I won't give too much away with that guy, but running around outside trying to find an old airplane that had crashed years ahead. And while I'm looking, I noticed that my screen is getting just goopy and like green slimes like coagulating in the corners of this thing, and it definitely looks like my mask is getting all gross. And you hit G, and you just bring up your hand and like wipe it off, and it's
Why aren't you using your controller?
I never use my controller for shooters. It's always mouse and keyboard. Depends on the game, I guess. Like, yeah, it's funny I should say that because I actually finally cracked open Dishonored, and I'm playing that with the controller. So you'd think I would have stuck. I don't know. Some games just feel better to me. As soon as I touch it, I know. If I grab that controller and move it around, I'm like, then I'll grab the mouse and keyboard and go, I know which one this was meant for, and I immediately sink into it. And I had the exact opposite experience with Dishonored. So as soon as I started Metro, keyboard and mouse felt right, and controller didn't. I tried both ways. Then I immediately went and installed it, Dishonored. Same deal, except the opposite. Tried keyboard, didn't like it. Controller felt right. So I don't know. It's weird, right? I don't get why I'm sensitive to that. I think it's because my voice cracked. When Brian and I were playing Quake back in the day, like you were talking about.
Right.
When you were trained that way to play a shooter, I feel like that sticks with you in a way that
gosh,
yeah. It's hard to not.
We studied WSDD. I mean, there was all kind of controversy. It was like, no, you should use the ASDF, and you should use them. It's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
What do I want to use here? Yeah, there was whole before YouTube. There was like you would read pages and pages about theory on what's the fastest and who's moving the fastest. And
who's whipping around the quickest and how you're going to get the best rocket jump off without blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, I mean, there was a real science to it. And I just feel like some of that stuff stuck with me, and it's easier for me to pick that up. But it's a feel thing, and it doesn't mean I don't like controllers. They're great for shooters. I don't have a problem with them. I just think some are developed with that in mind, and therefore just play better out of the chute. And I don't think Metro. I think Metro was primarily for keyboard mouse, but then again, this version ended up on all the consoles. That wasn't always true. That wasn't true of the first one. So they're obviously a little more console-ified. But I don't know. It's a good question, a good argument to have actually. Which one's better? But in this case, I don't know. I just ended up preferring it.
Yeah, I find it fine on the controller. There's times where there's just too much for the controller.
Yeah.
But for this one, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Do you like how you have to charge your flashlight? I like those touches, like weird little.
I'm about an hour and a half into it.
You may not have had to do that yet.
Yeah, I haven't had to charge it yet.
Because eventually you get a little indicator that says you run out of power, and you bring up this like old school crank charger, and you got to crank it 5 times. And it's great.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fun game. Thanks for giving it to me.
Yeah, no problem. It's good. It was on sale. May still be, everybody. If you still
No, it's
is
not.
It not now?
No, because I was curious how much it was. It's like $39 normally.
Oh, missed out, man. $10. It's cheap. Cheap. All right. So then I'm only a couple of missions into Dishonored, and I can already tell I'm going to really like it. I don't know why I didn't play it before. I don't know what my deal was. I even had it in Steam, and I'd played a ton of Skyrim, and I felt like I was kind of. Oh, and also, what was the other one I played? The other spy sneak around similar one that even one of the dudes made this game.
Thief?
No, the other one after Thief. The one made in the 90s. It was in the Unreal Engine. My brain's not 100% here. Chat room will know a minute from now.
In the 90s.
Yeah, no, like late 90s, early 2000s. It was, dude, cyber implants rolling around.
Far Cry 3?
No, that's just a year old, that game. I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
They have the new one. There's a new one, and I played it last year, and it was great. Not Unreal Thief.
Unreal Thief.
Chat room, you're no help to me. I can't remember the damn name. Not Splinter Cell. Before all that, it's old piece. Deus Ex. There it is.
Oh, Deus Ex.
Jeez. All right. So I played that game right before this one came out, and they're very similar in terms of like gadgets and abilities and when you get them and how it works and the story and all this stuff. And I think I just wasn't in the mood.
Yeah.
But now that I'm playing it, it's good. That game's great.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be. It's kind of like you with your Fallout. You can't do Fallout 4 tomorrow. You'd hate that.
Yeah, I would.
You wouldn't hate it, but you'd be like,
well,
like
I would probably do what I did with Fallout New Vegas and play it a little bit and go, I'm just not ready. I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought I would, and I would take a break for a year before going back to it.
Yeah.
Who would you say this to? The game? Would you say, I'm just not ready for you right now? I
have to break up with you. I'm sorry, Fallout.
Yeah. And the video game breakups.
PS4 would say, I was not programmed to love. Speaking of PS4, right now as we record this, it's in the other room humming away, downloading Infamous Second Son for me. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm interested in that.
Well,
let me know how that goes.
It's so the reviews so far very positive, doing well, and most of them say that it's a huge graphical animation, facial movement jump in the future. Like it looks really, really, really nice. Like feels very next generation. Maybe the first game to do so on new consoles. So praising that. Graphics they're saying are great. Gameplay wise, they're saying it's essentially the best parts of the Infamous games brought forward, and the worst stuff was left behind, and that's great. Whatever that means, I don't know what the worst things were. I always liked those games. I love those first two games, so I suspect I'm gonna really like this. And it's installing now. Well, it's downloading now. 34 gig or something. It's huge, relatively huge.
That's it. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
that's as big as my World of Warcraft install. That'll give you an idea. So we'll check it. We'll check it out. And talk about it next week because I have no time to play it yet until it's down. That's the other thing is it's super slow.
No time to play.
Oh, this is good news though. Sony said, hold on.
Hold on, I'm walking away from the microphone.
I was talking to, no, I wasn't talking to anybody. I was reading. Sony said during GDC this week that they're going to start letting people do preloads, kind of Steam style. So that'll alleviate the big hit they take. Like today they're taking this huge hit because the game's brand new. It's out today, and everyone's trying to download it at once. If they do preloads, people can get it ahead of time and save some bandwidth and try not to all fight on day one.
When will you preload?
You would get it like a month ahead, is my guess.
Okay, you get
maybe
a month
2
ahead.
weeks.
You think preload first day would be just as bad as any other time?
No, what I'm saying is all it does is it just spreads the traffic out. So instead of everyone forced to get it on day one, you could preload a week ago, so you've got it and it's just waiting for activation. Just like Steam. It's the only reason they do it. They make it seem like it's some big benefit to you as a user, but it's not, other than speed on the day of. So it's only a benefit to them because you've just given them a reason not to worry about your 34 gig of bandwidth during the time that everybody's scrambling to get it, because there's still going to be day one scramblers.
Right.
There's going to be there's going to be the night before scramblers who went, oh crap, I got to preload that.
Yeah. There will be, but they'll be spread out into different groups of smart people who got early, other people who waited too late, other people getting it day of. Like they just want to spread that out some, and it's a good idea.
I did that with the documentary that Steam is going to be releasing soon.
It's out now.
Is it?
Yeah,
No.
Tuesday came out. The one, the free-to-play one? Yeah, free to play it's called.
Yeah, free to play.
It's
But
about
it's
the
in
Dota
my.
deal.
It's in my. Did you download it?
Yeah, I got it. It's in. I started
Did you
playing
watch it?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I started it, though.
Because I
test
have it installed, and it still says that it's preloaded.
That's weird. You should play it and see what happens.
Weird.
Hit play and see what it does. Well, not now or whenever, but
It's called free to play, right?
yeah, free to play. It's all
Free
No,
to
no.
play.
free to
Yeah,
play.
If you say it like this, free to play.
Free to play.
Free to play. Yeah, March 19th. What the heck?
Yeah, you should have had this already. Yeah, that's weird. So they may be goofing up on yours. Who knows?
Yeah. Stupid.
What
yeah,
else?
That's what I did, and it didn't work. Apparently.
So I'm going to keep playing Dishonored. I want to. I think what I'm going to do is beat Metro, be distracted by
I'm gonna beat Metro.
Second Son, and then Dishonored is probably after that. And then I want to thank Mr. Pete W, who gave to me the game Space Hulk, which is their sort of Warhammer 40K top-down, looks just like the board game kind of Warhammer game. And I've only really just cracked a couple of games, or one game open with it. But yes, I've played a couple of those tabletop sit down and play with your buddies games, and it's just like that. And that's good. I like it. So I'm going to keep playing it. They have a game like this on the iPad called Warhammer. Oh, Nicole, you even played this. Warhammer Quest or
Pad Hammer.
Warhammer something. Anyway, it's a basic. It's the same thing.
It's too many names for you.
Same idea. But thanks, Mr. Pete W. It's a Steam name. That was really nice of him. Brian, tell me about the robot game. What the hell's this? The robot game?
The robot game. So I got this game. I'm going
the
through
robot game.
Right, the robot game. Oh, not the robots is actually what it's called.
Oh, not
It's
the
called
robots.
Not the Robots. It's kind of a roguelike. I think
Yeah,
you would
we've
like
talked.
it.
We've already talked about this.
I
game.
did a video of this game.
The developer
Did you really?
sent us all a copy.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
just
but
finally play
I
it?
never actually get to play though. Never got
Oh,
to play.
good. Well, what'd you think?
Well, there's nobody's talking about it because we've already made a video and everything. As Nicole said.
No, I didn't
It
say
was-
I made a video.
No, we
It was
did.
cool.
I made a Frog Pants TV of it. It is cool. It's
I
a
like
cool
it.
game.
I didn't see the Frog Pants TV. I would have watched that.
Yeah, it's really
It's
good.
very cool. Basically, you walk around and you hit the space bar, hold down the space bar, and you suck up furniture. It's pretty cool. You gotta avoid sentries. You gotta avoid
Lasers.
laser beams.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that, but it's a lot of fun.
It's good. I like that game a lot. I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I like the
Right.
roguelike tendencies of it because I'm a fan of that.
absolutely.
It gets real hard after a while. Woo.
It does. Every level is like a different, like kind of little puzzle. You got to go. Okay, I've got the ability to be invisible, but I can't move. So you got to figure it all out. So it's a lot of fun. But I didn't get to really play a lot this week because most of the week I spent puking.
Oh, what?
That's right. You were sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was your birthday, too.
Yeah, just sick on my birthday. Couldn't go out and get the banana split like I wanted to for my birthday. So
That's oddly specific. Weird.
Sick. That's my thing that I wanted. What do you want for your birthday? Nothing. A banana split. Leave me alone.
So what'd you have? What kind of horrible disease did you have for a whole week?
do
Jeez.
not. I don't know. Well, it was more like it was the worst of it
Probably
was for
stomach-
a day,
yeah.
right?
You got a
Worst of it
stomach
was like
virus.
for a day or so. I don't know if it was stomach virus or food poisoning, but for like 2 or 3 days afterwards, I'm like, I don't eat nothing.
Yeah.
What do you want? Crackers. You got some crackers.
You have crackers and soup. Do you have a little soup?
So it was right. So it was me, and every once in a while I would roll over and I'd play something like Pocket Mine or something, which by the way is getting way too complicated.
Yeah, game sucks.
They've added all kinds of crap to it now, and you got to choose these different modes, and it's like one strike mode if you want to play that, and it takes 2 energy bars, and it's like I can't do all of this. I just want to press buttons.
If by complicated you mean not good still, I agree. I think
No,
that game's terrible.
it's an excellent game, a lot of fun. They've added a lot of cool stuff to it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just want to get in there and click.
I understand. That's how I am. Let me click. Let's get out of here and click. I'm with you.
Clickety, click,
But
click.
I've got some games on the way. I've got some things I want to play.
Like what? What are you looking forward to?
I've got a
Because I assume
Stuff and things.
because I assume on your list here in the notes, Pukeville is a reference to you being sick. Anus Tickler 2055 was a joke I played on you.
Right, but I put 2049 like Robotron. If you're gonna be topical, at least be topical.
Yeah, if you got an anus tickler, it may as well be a dual stick shooter game.
Right, I've got a game called The Cat Lady.
Oh, the cat lady. What is this? Explain.
It's the cat lady. It's a little game that I don't even know where I got it from. I think Neff might have sent it to me. I don't know.
What's the point
Good
of
old
it?
Neff.
What's the point of it?
Neff has been really a help lately with my games.
Yeah.
It's the cat lady. It's about Susan Ashworth, a lonely 40-year-old woman on the verge of suicide. She has no family, no friends, and no hope. And I'm totally not reading this off Steam. For a better future. One day she discovers that 5 strangers will come along and change everything. And I'm assuming she's talking about dogs.
5 strangers? Well, it'd be
5
cats
strangers.
because she's a cat lady.
Well, no, but she's already got cats.
Oh. All right. I get
But
it.
I'm looking forward to it. It looks kind of artsy fartsy.
I look forward to your comprehensive review coming up next week on the final score.
Right. And this week on the final score, Brian reviews a game that Scott played 2 months ago on free play something.
Something like that. I don't
That'd be
remember.
awesome.
Nicole, what about Chains?
So speaking of Neff, he sent me this puzzle game, Chains, and he said there's 2 reasons why he hasn't given you any games, Scott.
Doesn't like me anymore.
No, you're
Oh.
not friends with him on Steam, number 1.
Oh, I'm not?
How
Yeah.
can you not be friends with someone on Steam, Scott?
I thought I was.
And then you're always talking about all the games you get, and then he feels bad for me and Brian.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, but most of the games I get are my horrible sense of self-control on a Friday night at 5 o'clock going, what's this? It has the word roguelike in it. I'm buying it sight unseen. That's fun.
But this Chains game is I need to check to see if it's on the iPad because it would be awesome on the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
These little balls drop from the sky.
Are they chains?
No,
not?
what you do
Dang
is all of these color balls drop from the sky, and you create a chain of connecting them.
Right.
And-
Wait, is this Peggle?
No, not at all, not at all. Peggle, you have to shoot the ball and hit the thing.
Right.
This is
This
Like,
is more
for
like
instance-
Plinko.
no, not even that because
Brian's just going to keep throwing out what he thinks it is until you tell him. That's how that's
like each puzzle is a little different. So like there was one where all the balls were dropping into a bucket, and if there were too many balls, then the lid would open, and you had to get 200 balls before the lid was open. So
Interesting.
and it does kind of like the physics of it, because you might have a yellow ball next to a green ball, but then a pink ball or a red ball might drop and knock that off to where now you can get a big long chain and just disappear those.
Oh.
But it's a fun little puzzler. But again, I want it to be on my iPad, not my PC.
I know, right? I feel
This
that
would
way
be-
sometimes. I'll play a game and go, well, both ways. I feel that way about some
Yeah.
games that should be on my PC instead. But that game sounds like an iPad game for sure to me.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just gonna look. Chains iOS.
Probably is. Hey, while you check it out,
Let's go.
ooh, looky here, everyone. A wild Casey Banta appears, and he appears with a stack of letters that indicate he has great trivia for us today.
Right.
Because he does
Just
this
like
every
Pokemon.
time. Yeah, just like Pokemon. Gotta catch
Casey
them all.
shows up.
Gotta Casey them all. Casey, what's going on?
Hey guys, happy weekend.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm just glad Brian's feeling better. I feel like I'm walking on pins and needles a little bit because everybody I know, both far and abroad, close and near, all have had some horrible stomach thing this year, and I haven't. And I'm
Lucky.
terrified that it's only a matter of time now.
Diverticulitis.
Well, that's different. But like a full-on like yakking it up deal. I mean, I haven't thrown up since 2005. I got a record to keep here.
Uh-oh.
I know.
You just doomed
it feels
yourself.
like I am doomed. I feel like that means that I'm more likely than anyone else because I've gone this long. And before that, 98. Before that, I don't remember. So 2 times, and the only times I can even remember in the last 15, 20 years. I mean, that's crazy. I don't want to barf now. Now's not the time. All right.
That's crazy.
So, Casey, what was our game? What did we pick?
Well, for now, you all sound fantastic, and you all get to answer
Aw.
a trivia question from Nicole's pick, Rule of Rose.
Son of a.
Oh, it's today's old school.
Old school too.
Yeah. I know nothing of this game, so I'm going to lose terribly or get lucky. So, how are you going to do it? What are we doing this week to ensure a loser?
I will ensure a loser, I'm sure. It's going to be a classic multiple choice question.
All right.
By the way, this game looks like it would have been fantastic if it didn't have terrible gameplay and sexual undertones from little children. But anyways, here we
That's why it was banned, I think, in Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything's banned there.
But not in Nicole's house.
No.
I thought it was a good game.
So you have loving memories of this game.
I mean, loving is a little strong, but I remember enjoying. I thought, wow, that was a different, interesting game. I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, lay it on us then, Casey. What do
Let's
you
go,
got?
Casey.
Let's go. In Rule of Rose, which of the following is not an improvised weapon that the main character Jennifer uses to beat back her foes?
Okay.
Is it A, an ice pick, B, a yardstick, C, a pipe, or D, a dessert fork?
All of those sound like really good answers.
All right. Who's first?
You go first, Scott.
Okay.
Haha.
Yardstick.
Okay.
Okay, that's wrong. Brian?
Go ahead and pick one, Brian.
What was index finger one of them? What was it again?
You've got ice pick, yardstick.
Ice pick.
Okay.
You can't beat anybody back with an ice pick. You'll stab them to death and they will die.
Just for the record and for completionism, there was no index finger in that list.
No.
Yeah.
This is the weapon that was not, correct?
Correct. Which one is not?
I definitely remember the lead pipe. I'm pretty sure I had a yardstick. It's between the dessert fork and the ice pick. I think it was dessert fork.
The reason this is going to bug me if Brian's right is because I now have a sneaking suspicion that the game would have been too violent to have an ice pick, and therefore that's why that one's not there, and the rest of these are kind of goofy in a weird way.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll find out. We have to stick to our answers, but what do you say, Casey?
Okay, you will find out. None of you said C, a pipe. A pipe was one of the weapons in the game.
Okay, all right.
So you're safe there.
All right, dodge that bullet.
One of us got it right.
Let's see. Nicole, you said dessert fork, right?
Yeah.
A dessert fork, that is the first weapon you get in the game.
Damn, I forgot.
Is a dessert fork.
Oh, I forgot.
Dang.
It's been a long time. What can I say?
It's been a while.
I remember just using the lead pipe a lot.
So that means one of you is a winner.
Yeah.
I think it's Brian.
Chicken dinner.
If Brian gets this, because he thought it was index finger, I'm going to be ticked.
Well, Scott, untick yourself. You have the correct answer.
Oh,
It is
Oh my gosh.
B, a yardstick.
Really? No way.
Man, I totally forgot then.
Wow. Okay. That was all instinct because I never played this game. I had no idea. Well, okay. Well,
You lucky
nicely,
guess.
nice job, Scott. Way to go, man. I'm going to talk to myself now. So, who picks this time? Who's the next picker?
It's your turn, Scott.
All right. Good. I won, so I get to pick. Not really, but I'll pick anyway. So here's what I'm going to pick. Let's go with... I was just thinking about this yesterday. Can we go with Hexen? The old
Hexen.
PC shooter fantasy game Hexen.
Sure.
It was Raven Software based on the Doom engine.
Whatever.
Yeah, we've done a old school of it before, but I used to love Hexen, so let's do Hexen.
Let's do Hexen.
All right, we're doing Hexen. It's Casey Banta, everybody. Casey Banta on Twitter. Listen to his music memories at the end of the show. Casey, stay out of trouble, man.
I'll try.
Bye now.
Too late.
See ya.
That Casey fella, he's all right.
He's okay, right? He's a good boy.
He's all right, I'm telling you.
We got a board game geek coming up later.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. We like that.
That's good.
Nicole, we ended with you not talking yet about this new DLC for Fallout New Vegas.
We ended talking about balls,
Oh,
but
yeah, balls. Dropping balls or something.
dropping balls.
Yep.
So this is the last time I'll talk about Fallout New Vegas because I finished all of the DLC. And it was awesome and great, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I've even started playing some of the mods, the adventure mods. So there's two out there. The one I'm playing right now is Project Brazil, and then I'm looking at Project Nevada, but it just seems a little bit complicated to install, so I might just get frustrated and move on to something else.
Oh, you hate those ones that are all like, here's the texture pack and go get this. This is stuff Brian likes. Like, he would like to do that more than actually play the mod.
Right.
Whereas you would rather just play the damn thing.
I just want to install it. So I just, like with Project Brazil, you only need the base game. You install it through Nexus Mods, and that's it. And it's done.
Yeah.
And it took them 4 years to build this mod. And professional voice acting, it's really great.
All right.
So if you're a fan of Fallout New Vegas and you miss Project Brazil, you should go back and put that puppy in.
All right.
It's awesome.
And
So I'm done.
You're done. That's it. You're out with the game. Okay.
I may still play it, but I will not talk about it anymore on the show. I'm sure people are tired of hearing me talk about it.
You have a special relationship with that game, and I think it should be noted. All right, duly noted. Oh, look what's going on now.
Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us now as we speak to our board game nerd. It's Dan on the line. Dan, what's going on?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, good, man. Thanks for hanging in there for us.
I love the music. I feel like I'm a phone a friend.
Kind of, yeah. You get your own little theme this week. We really enjoyed your first segment on here, so I've been looking forward to this. We kind of jacked up the schedule last week, but it's good to have you back.
Well,
dude.
that was my fault. I was out of town with the wife for my anniversary, and just like
happy
normal
anniversary.
parents. Well, thank you very much.
How many years?
12 years last week.
Holy shite!
Good job.
That's great.
And of course, I bet, Nicole, you want to guess the first thing we decided to do on our anniversary trip?
Take a guess.
You play Fallout New Vegas.
No, we slept. we took a nap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you're away from the kids.
That's great. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, Dan, what have you got for us this week? I assume you have some awesome board game none of us can live without.
Well, this is the thing. I'm going to start a nice little, all the games that all the board gamers should own, like the mandatory games you should own. And this week I've tailored it to Nicole because last week she said she wants a 2-player game that her and Mark can play. Now, this game is called Forbidden Island. Now, the cool thing about it is it's a co-op game. Now, usually when you play games, it's everybody's cutthroat and you want to kill everybody else or eliminate everybody. This is a strictly 100% co-op game where you're both working together to try and get the 4 artifacts before the island sinks.
Wow.
And
I like it.
it's a tiny little game. I'm going to throw a nice little picture in the chat for everybody to check it out. Now, each turn, you basically are going to try and keep the island from sinking because pieces of the island are going to sink every turn. So you'll keep the island from sinking. You're going to shore up different pieces, and then you're going to search for different artifacts. And you're both kind of like Indiana Jones type people. And everybody has their own power. There's a pilot, an engineer, a navigator, an explorer, which is really cool because you can actually.
Paladin.
So wait, hold on. Can you do
a pilot? Sorry.
Can you only do? I mean, is it co-op or are you versus each other in this thing?
It's strictly co-op. So you're. If the island sinks all the way, or if one of you guys dies, you both die.
Wow. All right.
Oh.
Interesting take.
And it's really good 2-player because you're really working together. If you kind of get to that 3 and 4, you have that alpha gamer problem, which happens in some co-ops where it's like some jerks like, well, if you do this, you do this, and you do this, then we win. And you're like, well, that was no fun.
Yeah.
Right,
right. But if you're playing together, then it's totally a fun time. And a great thing about the game is it's less than $20. You can find it usually at like Barnes & Noble or even Target. And the only drawback, it comes in a tin.
Oh,
which is weird to store on a shelf when you've got all the regular boxes and stuff.
That's true. Is it one of those long tins, like kind of the Jenga looking tin?
No, it's like the domino tins, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not too big, but it's still really wonky to try and stack with other things.
Well, it sounds awesome. Would you, if you had to give it a rating between 1 and 10, what would you give it?
Oh, when it comes to a family-friendly or spouse-friendly, this is a 9. This is a 9 for me because What's great about this is it leads into a lot of other games. I'm not sure if you guys heard of Pandemic at all.
I have heard of it. In fact, I own Pandemic. I've just never played it.
And this is kind of Pandemic light, just kind of like somebody said in the chat room. This is basically the first step before you get into Pandemic. And just like Pandemic, it has an app for the iPhone. I believe it might be iPad only. It's $4.99 in the App Store for Forbidden Island.
Okay.
It does have one in-app purchase, but it's not an annoying one. Like, it's not required. It's the in-app purchase, I think, is 99 cents, and you unlock other maps that you can play.
Nice.
Which is really cool because normally it's just like this kind of weird square thing where you're kind of moving around the map. The other ones have like a square where there's a big hole in the middle, or even like a horse shape. It's really funky stuff. So it just kind of improves it. this is a great game.
All right. It sounds really good. Forbidden Island, you say? That's the name?
Yes, sir. By Game Right.
And you can get that Amazon, other places, kind of all over the place?
Amazon, you probably get it for about 10, $11.
Yeah,
15? Okay.
15 right now.
That's not bad. That seems pretty reasonable. Nicole, you going to get it?
Oh, yeah.
All
definitely.
right. Well, then Dan has made your day better than it was before you got here. Dan, it's always fun, dude.
Scott, your turn. It's your turn next week, and I will pick something out for you and the fam and for anybody else. This is a 5 or 6-player game. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that's your tease.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be awesome. Dan, tell people where they can find you on Twitter or wherever you want them to find you.
Well, you can check me out the Geek All Stars podcast. It's primarily board game, but we talk about just about anything. We're doing a real good our own NCAA tournament this weekend on dice games, which should be really fun. And I'm Geek Jock Blog on Twitter.
Nice. Go check him out. Big thanks, man. We'll talk to you next time.
You guys have a great weekend. I appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Awesome.
Bye, Dan.
I enjoyed that.
I like that a lot.
That was fun.
That's a great new segment right there, everybody.
Yeah. Dan?
Plus, it makes me want to go play Uncharted. Anyway.
Dan's been sending in segments for the end of Nerd Parents, too.
Oh, lovely.
So,
Good.
yeah, so Dan's the man.
He's definitely a nerd parent.
He is.
He'll be at Nerdtacular this year, helping us run the board game area. So that'll
cool.
be good. Yeah, that'll be awesome. All right, so we're gonna move on to some quick news here. Nothing too big. Couple things.
Valkyrie needs food badly.
I need food.
Sony introduced and unveiled the Project Morpheus, which is also rumored to be ultimately called Sony PlayStation View, or PS View for short. You
have to pick a virtual pill to take.
Yeah, whatever you're gonna do.
Right.
Take the red pill. It's also NASA has something called Project Morpheus, which has nothing to do with this, but or the Matrix. But anyway, it is a head-mounted 3D virtual reality Oculus Rift competitor, and it looks pretty sweet. People are talking about it in mostly positive terms. That's 1080p, lots of positional tracking going on. Not for this year, although rumors have been leaked that it may be for release this year. And if it is, and if these rumors are to be believed, very competitively priced at about $300 for the headset, Move controller type wand things that'll help you with the positional tracking, and a camera, all bundled in one package. That's a pretty damn good deal. That's awesome. It looks like we may see some real mainstream support for VR. Now, some have said, well, it's easy. It's when announcements like this come out, immediately people start picking camps. They want to just, what about Oculus? Oculus is doing fine. They got amazing stuff they showed at GDC this week. Essentially, these two display sets are mostly on par from what I've been hearing from everybody. And I think it looks pretty rad. So I am excited to see the mainstreamification of VR, and hopefully they do it right. Once again, Sony seems pretty hungry to do.
Sony does pretty good when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they at least buy all in. You know what I mean?
Well, they have in the past. Sometimes they've been too much. Like they're pushing Blu-ray above and beyond what gamers wanted for the PS3 was probably a mistake, and they've admitted that. But this time around, they seem to be so focused on the core. I don't know how they could go too wrong here, especially if that price point's right.
I just feel like we've been talking about VR forever.
Well,
forever.
I think it's just been. So look at it this way: the last 20 years, we've been promised virtual reality, and it just never happened. Everything was crap. Nothing was good. We didn't have the technology. We're now finally having the technology, and the conversation about it has ramped up in the last year and a half to the point of you feel like that's all anyone's ever talking about.
Exactly.
I totally am with you there. It's definitely like this hot topic, but if they can pull it off, man, and there are some compelling experiences, and first-party development is all in on this for Sony, then that's a big whoop. So that's more important to me than any Kinect ever was.
What?
So yeah, Kinect never did anything for me.
I know.
Never did a thing for me. Not
Complain.
I tried. I bought games.
I know.
I liked Dance Central. Was all right.
Yeah, the dance games were the only thing that really
worked.
was worth anything.
Yeah,
honestly,
the workout stuff was okay. Some of those exercise apps are all right.
And you go through these cycles so many times, you start to get jaded on the new cool next thing that's going to revolutionize gaming. Yeah. Where it's like, what do we have now? What am I going to waste my money on now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm becoming old.
That's what it is.
Crotchety and.
Well, my time with the Rift.
I'm excited about it, but
my time with the Rift is, if it's taught me anything, it is that there's something to this time around. There's something special happening here. The real question is, it's all about games, because right now it's all prototypes and demos, and that's not enough to rule the day. Now, can somebody with the kind of gaming heft and sort of market heft of Sony make a big difference in that way? I feel like they have to succeed here, or it's a real bad thing. So they've got to do it right. It's got to be compelling, and the games themselves have to be something special, or else no one's going to care.
Did you see the Eve? Was it Eve Valkyrie?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I probably wouldn't play Eve as a standalone game,
Mm-hmm.
but if the VR with that game,
Yeah, it looks great.
I don't know, it kind of kicks it up a notch, right?
They're putting that out. They said at GDC they're putting that out for both Sony's headset and the Oculus as well. So that's a big deal. That thing started out as just a goofball pet project in the company. They weren't even going to publish it.
Oh,
But they're
really?
going to now. Yeah, they've fleshed it out because people were freaking out about it. They saw it at that EveCon thing they do, whatever it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are flipping out like, this is the greatest thing ever. Why isn't this a game? Well, we're just goofing. We're just trying to see what it's capable of, and now I think they're serious. So I think that game looks good. Let's see. There's a bunch of cool indie stuff this week. I mean, for the most part, this wasn't a week of big announcements other than Morpheus.
It's a game developers thing, yeah.
Which is good. It's good. It's good to hear all that. If you're a dev and you went, you probably had way more fun than you should, or something. What else? We never talk about Nintendo enough, so I did a poll, and I put it up, and the poll asked the following question of our listeners. Best Nintendo console ever. And I did not include handhelds, okay? So just TV, straight to your TV consoles. The choices were the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or the SNES, as some call it. SNES. The, hold on, I don't want to tell you the winners yet. There we go. The NES, obviously, Nintendo Entertainment System, N64, GameCube, Wii U, Virtual Boy, and the Wii. Okay, those are your options. The results are in with a whopping 37% of the vote. The Super Nintendo, the clear winner here.
Absolutely.
I think I agree with it.
I agree.
Yeah, I do
I'm
too.
absolutely going to agree, yeah.
It's a hell of a machine. N64 with second place. That surprised a lot of people with 30%.
No, I liked it. I was actually just right on par. That was my second.
Big fan as well. NES at third. GameCube at number 4 with 11%. And Wii at number 5 with 3. Wii U at 2. Ouch. And Virtual Boy at 1. So 5 total votes for Virtual Boy. Did not do extremely well in the poll. But interesting, to get the kind of mindset of players who listen to our show. Oh, what else? EA got hacked.
Well, imagine that.
You say it's because... Oh, this has the wrong article.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it's got the VR headset.
Well, basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to, since you can tie in your Apple account with your EA account, they're trying to, there's basically like a middle area there of trying to snag your Apple ID information. So, and not more bad news for EA.
Yeah. Too bad, right?
They just can't seem to put it under control, man. They just can't seem to.
They can't catch a good story. They cannot get a good piece of well, I guess they had a pretty good launch for Titanfall. Didn't have too many issues.
Yeah, not too bad.
I still don't feel compelled to pay $60 for a multiplayer game, but some people have chided me saying, well, you paid $50 for cards in Hearthstone.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
And I said, well, I mainly did that to test it for the instance, had to take one for the team. But also, I guess I'm specifically talking about a multiplayer shooter. I don't know if that's $60 a little high. That's all. There's a lot of those experiences for a lot less than that now on lots of platforms, and I don't know why I would spend that there. So anyway, they've already inked a deal for Titanfall 2, and it is not a Microsoft Xbox One or Windows exclusive. So that means I'll be playing the sequel probably on my PS4 or maybe my Xbox One by then. But the point is, I like it when they don't lock it down to one platform. Bugs me.
Right.
Let's see what else we got here. Peter Molyneux is the most quotable person at GDC. Plus, he thinks Fable 3 was a train wreck. He didn't love it.
Right.
I didn't.
Everything. He was talking a lot, man. He had a lot to say, and a lot of people were quoting him.
I didn't like that game either.
I don't think it was that bad.
I know you don't. You like that game for some reason.
I did.
And everyone else I know hated it.
Why does he think it's a train wreck?
He says this link is to his Google profile.
Yeah, I'm looking at the IGN article. In my mind as the designer, whenever I'm making a game, I have this perfect jewel in mind. Fables for me was this beautiful, incredible, amusing, funny, artistic, wonderful gem of a game that anyone could play.
Yeah.
I don't see where he's saying it's flawed.
Well, he's not. That's Fable 1 he's talking about.
That was, that was his
that was the first one.
baby.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
talking
his-
about. He loved that game.
Oh, it's not down till later.
I'm trying to find. There is a. Is it this one? Crap! I'm trying to find the interview he did. No, that's not it either. There's this great interview where I cannot believe the things he was saying, and I can't find it. It was on Kotaku.
Right. He was talking good about Nintendo, saying, "Hey, don't give them such a hard time." He was talking good about EA. It's like, hey, you know how much they've done for us, and so he's had some stuff to say this past week.
I can't find it. All right. Well, in here somewhere, you'll want to find it, guys. Dig around and read the interview he did about his latest projects. That's a super short interview, but the funniest thing you'll ever read, and I can't find it. It's a hoot. I meant to have it for the show. It's really, really funny. Oh, here it is. Shortest game interview you'll ever need to read. Here it is. I'm going to read the whole thing. Peter Molyneux on Goddess, that game on the PC.
Right.
Which, by the way, has improved a lot. I've been messing with it. It's not bad now. Anyway, he says, my dream is impossible to realize, but it's important to dream. I want core gamers to play with casual gamers, so I can play a game with my girlfriend. Did I say girlfriend? I should have said my wife. It is very interesting psychologically. We don't allow you to chat in Goddess. The reason for that is because chatting encourages bullying. It's ambitious. It's stupidly ambitious. And you can ask me all these questions, but the answer is I don't know. Or you can, sorry. With Curiosity, Project Curiosity, I had no idea the players would retell the story of 9/11 cooperatively. It's an amazing time to be a game designer. Well, thank you, and have a great rest of your day, says the interviewer. Now Peter Molyneux's dropping something. She says, what was that? He says, an orange. I tried to catch it like a cool person, but it fell out of my hand. That's the interview. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
That is weird.
He's a weirdo. I like him, though.
You like it.
That's your news for the week. Let's get on to some emails. No, wait. Yeah, I got one email. This is from last week, actually.
Yeah, the one you're supposed to read last week. We're right.
Dear Scott Bryan and the Eternal Nicole. I just need to get this off my chest. Sorry, guys. Earlier tonight, I was in the TFS Minecraft server. I'm new to Minecraft, so what better way than to join the FROGPANTS community server? I really wanted to highlight how wonderful these guys are. Riggs, who showed me through or around his Minecraft home on the server and patiently showed me how to add to my proposed is the word I meant to say. Blah 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 blah. It says Dan and something numbers, who gave me a mule and a and patiently showed me the way to my own home because I'm too noobish to know what coordinates are. Fred Waffles, who saved me from the zombies because I was out at night with no armor or weapon. Anyway, he's basically saying these guys were really trying to help him, and were super nice. Then, while all in the middle of this, somebody got in that was a complete troll and started trolling everybody. They tried to help with him or work with him, but to no avail. He just kept spamming, being a complete douchebag Carl, which is a reference to the instance. I mean, these are the nicest people in the world. I just couldn't stand it. I want to sing out their praises. Old Pseudonite, who I've had the pleasure of talking to, and Raymond, who I have. I don't know what that means. I also read this out to let you guys know you are the best people I have ever met, and I want you to know you handled yourself well, kept true to yourselves despite the trolling. I love you guys. Keep up the good attitudes. It's great, and it's appreciated by noobs like me. You're welcome to my water village anytime. I love you all. That was from Sharian, right?
Close enough. Yeah, that's what I probably would have said.
Anyway,
Sharian.
nice email. I like it.
Yeah.
Way to go. Let's get to the old school.
We're kicking it old school.
It's old school. Rule of Rose. It's a survival horror game for the PlayStation 2. Game developed by Punchline and released in 2006, set in 1930 England. You're a 19-year-old girl named Jennifer, and you're trapped in this place, a bunch of ruins and stuff, by young girls who have established a class hierarchy called the Red Crayon Aristocrats.
Yes.
This sounds crazy to me.
It's so crazy. I think it was around because it compares to Silent Hill, and I'm a fan of Silent Hill. Yeah. You also have a dog companion named Brown that helps you. I put a link underneath the Wikipedia. Those are the enemies the mentality of this game is like Lord of Flies,
Oh,
where
yeah.
Right.
all the little kids are like creating their little empire and doing just messed up things, and it's
These
just
people look terrible.
I know, right? It's
That
crazy.
that fish person tied up on the ground. That's gross.
Yeah.
Weird.
And you're kind of unraveling this mystery. So Jennifer was led to this place by a little boy, and you're just trying to unlock what the hell is going on in this place.
Yeah,
And
this is
it's
some bizarre.
It's
Wow.
a very compelling mystery, and it's just got weirder and weirder and weirder.
I paid a lot of attention to survival horror games of the PS1 and PS2 era, but this one completely missed my radar. Never even heard of it.
Yep. So
2006, Atlas announced it would be releasing Rule of Rose to the United States. That would have been right about the time it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Boy, yeah, people gave us some bad ratings too, because like Poland.
Well, people did. Yeah, they
were
didn't like the violence.
Yeah.
With kids, of course.
Yeah, they didn't like that violence with the kids. What a
But it
bunch of
wasn't
weirdos.
like adult. It wasn't like adults against kids. It was kids against kids.
Oh, I get it.
Like a Hunger Games kind of thing.
Sort of ish.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'm going to play this trailer, a bit of it. 17 plus was the rating here in the States. Rated M.
Say where is my shame
Ooh, creepy.
when I call your name? So please don't set me free. I'm as heavy as can be.
Ooh, it's weird.
I will
It's weird.
It's really weird what these people are doing. Oh, don't kill the dog.
No,
Kill
the
a dog. Kill Brown. Kill him.
Oh, I'll look at this later. Good Lord. That's weird just in the first 5 seconds. All right. Well, Nicole likes weird. That's what we learned about today's.
It's just different. It was different. You know, it just.
You like different.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
the world of mediocrity, this kind of just stood out, and I'm like, what? Like,
All right. Well, I'm a little weirded out. That means it's time to go, everybody. That's the end of the show. Go buy it now on stores now.
I'm out.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, live listeners and people at home. Nicole, you have anything to pimp this week?
Nerd Parents. Why not?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Check out Nerd Parents.
Nerdparents.com.
Just released a new episode on Wednesday. Just recorded one with Steven Schleicher, and I'll release that next week. So I'm kind of bundling up, recording another one later on today, too.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
You got a lot going on this week.
With Hammond.
Oh, Hammond Chamberlain.
Yeah.
He's in the chat room, I believe.
Who does the podcast Beyond the Playlist.
Yeah, which I'm showing up on sometime soon. That's a good show, and he's a cool dude, and he's a good dad, so that's a perfect match. Nicole Spag on Twitter, of course. Brian, what are you doing? Anything good?
Yes. This past week, we talked to Adam Huber of Bug Martini, previously Bug Comic. Guy's fantastic. Love him. He's humorous. Has his own podcast as well. I think it's Geek something. Looks to the Comics Coast to Coast podcast, and I'll tell you all about it.
Sounds
Adam
good.
Huber.
ComicsCoastToCoast.com, also on iTunes, and you can get it on the mega feed right here on FROGPANTS if you want that.
Do it. And if you're on iTunes, give us a good rating. Let people know how you liked it.
Yeah. Why not? Also, quick note, Nerdtacular tickets going quick. I want to say we're near 80% sold. That means if you want a ticket, you better get in it and on it because they're going quick. Nerdtacular.com for ticket information and information about the event, dates, places, all that stuff. Very, very much looking forward to seeing people there. Bring your kids because we got something cool to give them and we like kids. So there you go. That sounded weird. I don't mean that to sound creepy.
That did sound weird.
Everybody talked about Rule of Rose.
I like the right after that one. Right after that game, I feel like that's weird. Anyway, we would love to see you guys.
Bring your
all
dog
there.
named Brown.
Bring your kids and your dog named Brown, and we'll see you guys in July for that. But in the meantime, if you want to help us out on the show, send us emails, podcast@finalscoreshow.com. Finalscoreshow.com is our website. On Twitter, TFS Show. Scott Johnson, the Brian Dunaway, and Nicole Spag. It's going to do it for us. For more great shows just like this, check out frogpants.com. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Nicole. See you next time.
Bye now.
Yeah.
That
was pretty good.
Nice.
Right? Yeah.
I'm so tired. I want to go take a nap so bad.
I understand. I'm gonna go.
But I have to do a podcast.
I have to go and record one too. I got to go do Current Geek in 30 minutes. So I'll feel for you. I understand how you feel.
I gotta go on a date.
Brian, go on a date and don't puke. And
no promises.
Yeah, don't get any more whatever you got. That'll be good. And let's do this all again real soon. Ladies.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Okay, chat room, you guys can just stay. I'm gonna keep it going.